Breaking this morning, the Buffalo Diocese files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. While you were sleeping, St. Bonaventure covered in 4 inches of snow. We look ahead to possibly more snow this weekend. The stock market took a dive this week. How does the spread of the coronavirus affect your money? We have the answer. Good morning, I'm Justin Myers.
And I'm Tommy Valentine. Thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. Breaking news this morning, the Buffalo Diocese files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The diocese faces 260 cases of child sex abuse allegations. The bankruptcy filing puts the lawsuits on hold. This does not mean the diocese or its parishes will be out of business. This makes Buffalo the second diocese in New York to file for bankruptcy, following Rochester. This afternoon, Bishop Edward B. Scharfenberger's meeting with reporters. Follow our social media pages for updates. Take a look outside your window and you'll find more snow. The high today is just 23 degrees with a low of 16, according to weather.com. Snow showers will continue for the rest of the day. 18 inches of lake effect snow expected during blizzard-like conditions moving up towards Buffalo. Travel becoming more difficult or impossible in some areas. All those traveling home for spring break, we wish you safe travels.
The New York single-use bag ban in effect this Sunday. Beginning March 1st, single-use bag is banned in New York State. This makes New York the 4th state implementing the eco-friendly ban, including Hawaii, California, and Oregon. The ban is looking to reduce litter and protect wildlife across the state. Now we take it over to Take Pro live in the studio with us.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad to be here with you this morning. Now, if you take a look at your screen, you will see a study done back in 2005 by the Congressional Budget Office. The study states that a severe pandemic like the 1918 influenza outbreak could result in over a 4% decrease in the U.S.'s total gross domestic product for that year. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but I took a deeper look to see where the U.S. economy will be impacted from the coronavirus outbreak. With the coronavirus affecting over 83,000 people in 50 different countries, many have stepped up their quarantine efforts. Prime Minister Abe Shinzo shut down all schools in Japan for a month to hinder the spread of the virus. The Venetian government put a halt to all public gatherings in Italy, including the 3-week shoot for the new movie Mission Impossible 7 in Venice. Now, the United States finds itself in a difficult position, with the stock market taking nearly a 10% plunge this past week. One of the biggest industries in America affected by the coronavirus outbreak? Pharmaceuticals. According to the Food and Drug Administration, 20 different kinds of prescription drugs and 180 China-based prescription drug manufacturers may be at risk of the coronavirus. Even though the FDA hasn't reported any drug shortages in the U.S. thus far, if the panic continues, you may see a lot more empty prescription bottles like these. Economic experts like Dr. Mark Wilson believe if America's conditions become similar to Japan's or Italy's, a severe recession could be possible. Wilson stated the outbreak could get worse if expected improvements in the stock market don't occur.
I think it largely comes down to what the infection rate is in the United States, and it's way too early to have any idea of what that's going to be. And again, I would suggest people follow the stock market if they want to have a good idea as to what's really going on, because information about the severity of the outbreak will be captured by asset markets.
I'm Teddy Caputo, SBU TV, New Now Next. Earlier this week, Italy took even more quarantine measures by suspending their active study abroad programs indefinitely. In 2 weeks, the Italian government will do an evaluation to determine whether or not it is safe to open these programs back up for the remainder of the year. However, the summer study abroad programs in Italy, including Sorrento and Perugia, are so far still on. St. Bonaventure's administration continues to monitor everything unfolding in Italy. Now back to you guys here in studio.
A St. Bonaventure's professor's connections in China pushed her to start a fundraiser for medical supplies due to the coronavirus outbreak. Our Madeline Edwards found out why she is so passionate.
With her parents and friends in China amidst the coronavirus outbreak, biochemistry professor Dr. Jiang Jiang's passion to help was no secret. Jiang noticed on WeChat, a social media site used by the Chinese, that medical personnel in Wuhan are running out of protection gear.
And then in saving them, the doctors and nurses, they have a higher chance to get infected. And then that just really weakened the support system.
Jiang told me the intentions of the fundraiser.
Not to send money to Chinese government, is actually directly buy those supplies sent to the hospitals, gave to the medical personnel.
She paired up with Positive Ripples through Bonner Responds to ensure the money raised is given to Chinese Cultural and Education Foundation, an organization that can transport the supplies to the hospitals. I'm in the Walsh Science Center, and donations can be directly taken to Dr. Zhang on the second floor in room 216. Donation boxes will be at the following locations and on Facebook until March 15th. Zhang's hope is to show inspiration for future Bonaventure students that may end up in China during another medical crisis in the future. With SBU TV, I'm Madeline Edwards.
St. Bonaventure University joins thousands of other colleges who are looking beyond standardized tests to determine a student's readiness for school. Roisin Coleman brings you more.
St. Bonaventure University will become SAT and ACT test optional coming fall 2021. Vice President for Enrollment Bernie Valento says Bonaventure is losing students to universities that don't require these test scores. About 40% of colleges across the nation don't require applicants to submit their SAT or ACT scores. Bernie says there's increasing evidence SAT and ACT scores are biased.
Some schools and school districts have more resources to help support their students to take the test where others do not.
More affluent students can also purchase extra test prep and tutors to perform better on these tests. Bonaventure grad student Michelle Miller attended Olean High School.
We had big SAT review books that we went through, multiple choice questions.
Michelle, who scored higher than average on her SATs and ACTs, said her parents also bought her extra practice books to perform well.
For those who aren't familiar with the SAT and its scoring or have been out of college for a while, in my hands is an example SAT test. The test has two sections. There's reading and writing and there's math. In each section, a student can earn between 200 and 800 points, totaling 1,600 points for the exam. The exam takes about 3 hours and 50 minutes to complete and is completely paper-based.
The ACT test is very similar, but it's scored from 0 to 36. By making this test optional switch, the university hopes to increase applications by 5 to 10%. For SBU TV, I'm Roisin Coleman.
Applicants to the university's Franciscan Healthcare Professions Program, Higher Educational Opportunity Program, and Division I Athletics still must submit test scores for eligibility. Coming up, a dive into what Lent on a Catholic university looks like.
And I followed the struggles of minorities in broadcast. Stay with us.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Stay tuned for our conversation with...
This morning, 33 Turkish soldiers dead after Syrian air raid in the city of Idlib province, northwestern Syria. We now go to NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg's statement, urging Russian and Syrian forces to stop airstrikes at a press conference this morning.
Allies offer their deepest condolences for the death of Turkish soldiers in last night's bombing in Idlib, and express their full solidarity with Turkey. Allies condemn the continued indiscriminate airstrikes by the Syrian regime and Russia in Idlib province. I call on them to stop their offensive, to respect international law, and to back UN efforts for a peaceful solution. This dangerous situation must be de-escalated, and we urge an immediate return to the 2018 ceasefire, to avoid further worsening of the horrendous humanitarian situation in the region, and to allow urgent humanitarian access for those trapped in Idlib.
This is the highest number of Turkish soldiers killed in a single day since 2016.
Apologies to our viewers. Due to unforeseen technical issues, we're pushing our third part of our series on mental health to our next broadcast. We hold ourselves to high standards at SBU TV and want to make sure we deliver high-quality stories. Stay tuned for our conversation with Deron Wells about his recovery from a suicide attempt in 2018. We spoke with him about what recovery looks like and the growth he's experienced. Be sure to tune in.
Since it is Black History Month, I decided to take a look at the underrepresentation of black journalists in broadcast. Take a look. In 1928, the first TV broadcast was produced. But it wasn't until 1978 when Max Robinson became the first African American to be a news anchor on broadcast network. When he first started his career in local television, he had to read the news behind the station's logo. Now, the sacrifices that Robinson made and the other influential black figures behind me did gives me and other black journalists the opportunity to showcase our talent. Over this past week, I found a poll conducted by the RT-DNA that shows the percentage of African Americans in local TV newsrooms. To get a perspective of what the newsroom is like, I talked with Aaron Ladd, digital journalist at WMBF in Myrtle Beach, and Bonners alum Jocelyn Person, a multimedia journalist at KMID in Odessa.
It's tough. A lot of the times you feel like you're underrepresented, I would say. A lot of times they look at me to tell the black story. I take a lot of pride and responsibility in carrying that weight, especially on my shoulders. Going back to the underrepresented part, there's only one black male in my newsroom right now, and you're talking with them. So with that comes that responsibility that we were talking about of telling those black stories and telling them well.
Afro-Latina, as a half Dominican, half African-American, and the only minority in a very predominantly white news station, especially it's here in Texas. But like how I dealt with it is pretty much just doing my own thing, just keep on pushing forward. And, I always reminded myself, well, I still do remind myself that why I'm here.
New York State Police charged 17-year-old William J. Larson with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter, following the deaths of William and Lisa Larson. In mid-November, during initial investigations, Larson admitted to killing his father. The jury ruled to indict Larson after the last grand jury presentment earlier this month. His arraignment hearing, originally scheduled for Monday, February 24th, will now take place on March 17th, according to New York State Supreme Court office. Here he will plead not guilty and head to trial. Keep an eye on our social media pages for updates.
This week, Ash Wednesday marked the start of the holiest period on the Christian calendar, Lent. It's the 40-day period of self-restraint and abstinence for Christians leading up to the celebration of Easter. Our own Robert Barbieri has more on this religious holiday.
Ash Wednesday marked the start of the holiest period on the Christian calendar, Lent, the 40-day period of self-restraint and abstinence for Christians leading up to Easter. The ashes serving as a public expression of faith.
But what does all this mean?
I spoke to Father Ross Chamberlain about the history of Lent.
Lent is not really a celebration, it's a preparation. So one of the things that we do in Lent is we don't eat meat on Fridays.
Father Ross said, by holding back from meat on Fridays during Lent, it draws us into a common practice. It keeps us mindful of the choice we have because we are blessed, and it helps us grow in solidarity for those who don't have a choice.
Lent is really a deep dive moment to kind of help us grow personally in our relationship with God, communally in our relationship with God, in a way of gratitude, in a way of simplicity, so that when the feast and the season of Easter arrives, we can celebrate really well because we've prepared really well.
Lent begins 40 days before Easter Sunday and is a season of prayer, reflection, and spiritual renewal. Stay tuned after the break.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. Have you ever wondered who those well-dressed students are at the end of the bench at basketball games? SBU TV's Amanda Oliver scores an inside look into the day of life as student manager here at SBU.
When you think of college basketball, you think of the players, coaches, and even the fans. But there are another group of key players that keep the programs running. Student managers are required to take on a huge commitment with many expectations. Senior managers Rob Barbieri and Connor Griffin tells us a little bit more about these expectations.
Bus prepared, or steaming the jerseys, and we're on away games. It's a lot of phone calls to wake the guys up in the morning. Sometimes that's not always fun.
Practices we help out during drills, rebounding, do anything coaches really need.
Basketball student managers do it all for their programs, from helping out in practice to cleaning and prepping uniforms, to even assisting during the games. Without their help, the programs wouldn't run as smoothly.
Even though they all say the hardest part about being a manager is the time management, both Brianna Burgess and Coldridge Wallaby share the rewarding side of being a student manager.
I've made great friendships with some of the girls on the team, so it's been really nice to be with people for 3 years and just have those friendships grow.
Experience, definitely.
I also spoke with number 4 Olivia Brown and number 10 Bobby Palanutis to hear what they had to say about their managers.
I feel like they're the hidden gems of the program. Like, they do so much behind the scenes, and a lot of it, like, us as players, we don't even see it.
Probably everything, because they rebound for me all day. And I don't think they get a lot of credit for the stuff they do.
Love you guys so much, and thank you for all you do.
I appreciate them a lot.
The wrap on a day in the life of a student manager, bringing you new, now, and next. I'm Amanda Oliver, SBU TV.
Student managers work hard both on and off the floor to help their teams be as successful as they can. We wish both teams good luck as they head in the A-10s.
The SBU swimming and diving teams competed at their conference championships last week, and 2 athletes won gold. Zachary Murphy brings us the swimmers' reactions to the event.
The A10 swimming and diving championships may be over, but the accomplishments the swimmers have achieved are still very important.
The meet is the finale of 6 months of hard work for the St. Bonaventure swimming team. This year, the Bonnies saw a lot of success with 12 medals and 9 program record times. Tajard Krush earned 4 medals at the meet, a silver in the 100-yard backstroke, a bronze in the 200-yard backstroke, a gold in the 200-yard medley relay, and the first gold for the men's team in 4 years. After he won the medal, he learned he broke the conference record.
Someone told me, yeah, you also, you didn't only break the team record, you also broke the meet record. And that's when I was just realizing, damn, what was going on?
George Coletta also found success winning 3 medals, a bronze in the 200-yard butterfly, a silver in the 200-yard IM, and a gold in the 400 IM. George was successful at the conference meet, even though he was out most of the season with rib issues.
I was just going to go in and race, and I didn't know what to expect, so I was just going to deal with, what I had, and it ended up really working out for me, so.
On the women's side, Rachel Kimmel secured 3 medals, 2 silvers in each the 100 and 200-yard breaststroke, and bronze in the 400-yard medley relay. Kimmel also broke the 2 records she set last year in both breaststroke races.
It was crazy. Oh my God. I was earlier this week, couldn't speak. I was hoarse from screaming all week.
I'm Zachary Murphy with SBU TV. New Now Next.
The men's team finished 3rd again this year, and the women improved to 6th place. Up next, sports. Stick with us.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
This new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SavedByTheScan.org.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Yeah, let's throw it to Grace Foley. Justin, it was a big week in sports this week at St. Bonaventure.
Now we had Grace Foley with sports.
Hi everyone, welcome back to SBU TV Sports. My name is Grace Foley and we've had a busy week with sports, so let's get right into it. The men's basketball team came up short in an overtime loss on Wednesday versus Duquesne. Don Welch hit a big 3 towards the end of the first half, cutting the deficit to 3. The Bonnies still trailed by 7 at half, but Kyle Lofton got them going in the second half with a big 3 from the wing. This Oshun dunk finished off a 9-3 run before a Duquesne timeout was called. Oshun had a double-double with a career-high 23 points. With the clock winding down, Lofton hit a jumper with 1:17 to play, but the Dukes forced overtime. It was there that the Dukes defense clamped down. Michael Hughes with a big block, leading to a Bonaventure foul and a pair of Sincere Carey free throws, taking the game 81-77 to the Dukes. The Bonnies will be traveling to play LaSalle on Saturday at 2 p.m. The women's basketball team faced a difficult loss on Wednesday at Dayton, with the final score being 78-51. 2 of the Bonnies scored in double figures, Deja Francis with 16 points and Journey President with 12. While it was a challenging game, the team hopes to end the season on a high note when they play Duquesne at home on Saturday at 1 p.m. Over the course of last weekend, the baseball team went to Mount St. Mary's where they swept the series 3-0. One of the big factors that led the team to success was junior Brendan Stillman. Our Tommy Valentine got to sit down and get the inside scoop.
I'm sitting here with Brendan Stillman, the DH and outfielder for the St. Bonaventure baseball team. Brendan, coming from Herkimer Community College, what has the transition to the Division I level been like for you?
It was a big adjustment in the fall. Not that I didn't see like good arms at Herkimer, but coming here, like getting comfortable in the box, getting my timing down, just seeing balls, recognizing pitches. It was tough at first in the fall, and then just hitting off a tee. Front toss helps you get better.
You hit .714 over the past weekend, 4 homers, 10 RBIs. Do you remember having a streak like this over your baseball career, and what was key to your success this past weekend?
The funny thing is I've had not success like this, but in the past 2 regional tournaments at Herkimer, I probably hit 2-3 home runs. What we did this weekend, Kelder and I, is absolutely insane. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I'd like to think that it does. The first day was rough for me. Going out, playing my first game, the nerves, every at bat, I just wasn't really locked in. My mind was wandering. And the second day, I told myself, relax. You played the game since you were 4 years old. Just relax. And then the next day I went out and shortened my approach at the plate and just kept things simple.
Finally, Brendan, if this team performs at the level we saw this past weekend for the entirety of the season, what exactly do you think this group is capable of this year?
I think we could shock the world, honestly. I know the A-10 is a really good conference, a lot of competition. I think we have enough here to hold our ground and make a run. In baseball, it's all about who's hot at the right time, and that could be us. I hope it's us.
A line drive to right center, coming over and having to play it on 2 hops is Fisher, and Stillman in his first Division I at-bat with the Bodies with a 2-out single to right.
That's all we have today for sports. I hope everyone has a nice and safe spring break. Let's bring it back to the studio.
Thanks, Grace. We're off to spring break this week, so we won't be broadcasting next Friday. Make sure you stay tuned to our social media pages.
Thanks for sticking with us this morning. I'm Tommy Valentine.
And I'm Justin Myers. Have a great weekend. Stay warm.